The convergence of fantasy and reality were too much for me. I had to escape and just be me, the Adrenalized Artist. I'm using colored pencils to create my Bossalicious Brat Pack. Here they are. Lovely ladies, aren't they? I'm showing you basically the pencil set that I am using for the most part, which is by Castle Arts. I will also use Skin from BlackWidow. I have two sets. One is like a dark set and one is a light set. I love these pencils. Let's dive in, shall we? I first start with using the undertones for the skin's complexion in a drawing. It might scare you a bit, but no worries. Since I'm using colored pencil, I'm using this white Prismacolor pencil to blend or kind of erase, if you will, that kind of scary orangeness. Of course, this is a rapid speed on the video, but in reality, my hand is not moving that fast. You have to kind of take your time. It's a tedious effort, but it's worth it in the end when the finished product has a smoother complexion. I brought you guys closer up so you can see the difference between the two sides that's beginning to emerge. You just have to keep going, keep blending, keep coloring. If you start to see some of the white through what you have there, don't worry. It may seem weird to you close up looking at it, but in the end, it's going to make all the difference in the world in the complexion and, in my opinion, overall texture of the complexion when people are looking at your work after the fact, after everything's all done. So I just kept going, kind of going over the bridge of the nose, and I'm going to be working through the cheeks. So it's basically like you put on the blush, and the blush kind of looks like, I hate to say it, but 80s style blush. You know, back in the day when I was a young teenager, I was guilty of wearing a lot of makeup, but I think most of us were. You want a more natural look. You don't want that level of blush or redness in the face unless you're trying to make a point with your art. Maybe you're doing some kind of commission work for a dermatologist. You're trying to prove a point with having it that orange. Okay, so I'm going to sound redundant. Keep going. Keep going with that white until you get everything kind of evened out in a way that you would like. Now, on film, it looks like there's some gray in there. It's not in reality. I'm only assuming that it kind of showed up that way because I initially drew this with a kind of lilac periwinkle pencil. Yeah, keep going. The change in the light in the room is natural daylight. In the beginning, I kind of worked at night with my lights on in the room, which I like better. It allows me to see things better, but I digress. Sometimes when I am doing my day job and I'm at lunch, I like to work on my art projects. It allows me to relax. It allows me to reconnect with my inner self, and it's something that I enjoy doing. So I decided I might as well take out that white Prismacolor pencil and keep working on it. If you notice, I use Verithin for Prismacolor. I love the Verithins. That's just my personal preference. I want to just give a disclaimer while I'm doing this. I'm in no way a professionally trained artist. I'm not an art teacher. I didn't go to art school. I just love drawing. I love painting. I love making stuff. I love creating music. I'm crocheting, knitting, all of that stuff. For me, though, drawing kind of began during childhood. I stopped for many years and then I picked it back up. So just do what you love. I paused to show you the difference, and now I'm going to use these three colors to help me kind of highlight the complexion and create enough variance in the complexion that it seems more natural. You know, most of us are not just one solid skin tone. We have undertones, we have kind of highlights in our skin tones, we have kind of some low lights. It's like with your hair. Natural hair is not one color, same with the skin. So I don't have the lights turned on yet. When I do, as it gets to be nighttime, I'll be able to see how my work on the left is faring. I've been building up different colors for her complexion all day. You guys saw me use the white pencil to get some of that rough red ruddiness out of her cheeks. The young lady on the right, I started to kind of do the under coat, if you will, of color by doing like a little scratch method of various colors, like oranges or maybe burnt orange, and then browns and grays, taupe, things of that nature. And then I'll start slowly building her color. So these are techniques that I use. I mean, I'm not a professional artist. I'm self-trained, and this is just things that I do over time to help build a reasonably congruent complexion. Okay, so there we have it. I think I'm going to stop there with her, at least for now. Sometimes you have to put something away or kind of step aside or start to work on another part of a project so that you don't do too much. Give it some time to kind of settle, revisit it, and give it a fresh eye when you do revisit it. Sometimes you can see that if something else needs to be done, what that is, and at that point you can address it later. But I like to let anything I work on rest, whether it's art like this, poetry, music, etc. Let it rest a little bit. And then you get a fresh perspective when you look at it again. But I'm going to have a video for each one of these ladies, as far as not just complexion, but how I kind of color everything else. And as I build this project, I would love to have your input. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you use colored pencils, and if so, what techniques you employ. If you have a particular brand or several brands that you love to use, let me know that. I've experimented with some of everything through the years, from Crayola to Prismacolor to Artisan, Castle Arts. I even have Castle Arts, not just colored pencil, but I also have watercolor pencils because two friends of mine gave me that for my monumental birthday this year, which I thought that was just sweet and adorable of them. I will never forget them for that. So let me know what impact art has had in your life, especially during this time period. I'm kind of pointing to the hash marks again that I'm using. So I just use different techniques and explore them, because, if you don't explore, if you don't do different things, you don't know what works, you don't know what doesn't work. If you're kind of experimenting, though, you may want to do what I do. I will try things on a separate piece of paper first and then go into my project, because nothing is worse than ruining a perfectly drawn drawing or person. I like to draw people for the most part, only to experiment with complexion or hair, etc., and it doesn't quite work out. And then you're like, I don't see a way in which I can correct this. That leads me to another reason why I do art too. Art allows me to problem solve. Sometimes when I'm solving a problem in my art piece or my artwork, I will think about how to solve a problem in my life away from art. Sometimes I will figure out a new way to do something pertaining to my day job, or pertaining to something else that I'm studying, pertaining to, my personal life or financial life, or just a lot of things. I have really at times found solutions to other problems while doing art. I hope you love this. Thanks for watching. If you know someone else who would love the content in today's video, share this link with them. Click like, subscribe, tell your friends. Let's have fun together and create our own world.